Welcome, guys, to a series where I sit in front of the camera and speak into the microphone for around 10 minutes on a topic of my choosing. So, this is the second time I'm doing this. I'm here to practice my speaking skills, practice for eventually being able to speak in front of a large audience or just training my thinking skills. Like, am I able to come up with things to say on the spot? Am I going to be able to maintain a conversation, a fast-paced conversation for long periods of time when I'm talking to people because I'm someone with social anxiety, so this is something that helps me a lot. But anyways, onto the topic we're gonna be talking about. So, the topic, as you may see from the title, is what is it? What does it take for a person to be truly fulfilled? Because for me, I look around, I look around to people, and they all seem fine in life. They all seem like they know where they're going in life. They're just happy to be alive, and that's something that I haven't been able to do myself or learn to do myself because I've I've struggled to find fulfillment and purpose because ultimately that to me fulfillment and purpose are the main goals of life, right? It's not about being happy. If you're fulfilled, if you're purposeful, then you feel happy in your life. You feel satisfied in your life. But that has been something that that's just I've been struggling to find that. And it's not that I don't know what my purpose is, not that I don't know how to find fulfillment. It's that if I don't have a constant supply of it, I just feel like I'm falling into depression at the moment I stop having this supply of fulfillment and purpose. And when I look at other people, when they just go on about their lives, they're fine with having these mediocre. I don't want to sound mean, but like kind of just this average, boring, mundane. Uh, what's the word? I there's a good word for this. Um, Mundane. Let me pause this. Actually, I actually do want to think of this word. Monotonous was the word. So I had the word in mind. I had the definition in mind. I just couldn't really remember what the word was. So monotonous. Every day is monotonous. Everybody has monotonous lives, and to be able to live a life that is fulfilling, you have to have that monotonousness be purposeful and fulfilling in your life. And for some people, they're just fine, like living every day. They go to school, they do their work. They're fine with sitting hours on end in front of, like, in a classroom in front of a teacher, listening to monotonous stuff. Like, and I just can't do that anymore because I skipped school due to depression and anxiety. And when I go back to school, I just can't handle it anymore because like you're sitting in front of in front of a desk and you're just sitting there for so long and I just can't handle that. So like 10 minutes in and I can't even handle it anymore. And some people may say like, "Oh, you don't have a good attention span," but for me, I feel like it's not about attention span. It's more about like, is this worth my time? I mean, of course I do have to study. I do have to progress and then eventually get into university. But like, okay, brain fart. If I'm gonna sit here and not feel fulfilled, then what is the point? Because life is about fulfillment, right? Unless I'm wrong about that. But my point is that people just go about their lives and they just accept everything that comes, and that's something that I haven't been able to do, and I don't understand how to do it. I don't understand how people are able to do that because for example, I went snowboarding and I was in this like kind of like dead state where I don't know if it's brain fog or just my lack of willpower to live. But I was feeling like my memory just wasn't happening anymore. Like I just wasn't taking in memories. Like the experiences I was having, I just wasn't feeling it at all, and I wasn't taking any memories in. And that it just feels like maybe I'm depressed, but maybe I'm like in a zone of like feeling I just can't feel anything these days, and maybe that's why that's part of the reason why I'm making this video is to kind of talk about the fact that the feeling that I can't find fulfillment and purpose. And I know the feeling of feeling fulfilled. I know that feeling from the past where I trained every day, do my fitness stuff, um, and like I have a passion in filmmaking, and I'm working on that, but I just can't find the feeling anymore. And my feeling for living, my 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 will to live is also like kind of just I I don't know, man. I've been scrolling. I know I'm all over the place, but I have a lot to say. I've been scrolling on Instagram for hours on end these past few days, and sorry for the brain fart, but I was just wondering, like, why, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm not satisfied with anything. I'm just sort of alive, you know. I'm just eating food. I'm just doing the necessary things to stay alive, but I'm not truly living. And I'm not I don't feel lost. I don't feel a deep depressing this depressive feeling. I don't feel it anymore. But like what am I just doing? There's no purpose. And I look at people. I mentioned snowboarding for no reason, but I'm going to go get into that now. So, I was I did snowboarding, right? It's a pretty expensive sport if you're not doing it long term, but I'm a beginner, and I'm starting out on skateboarding. Holy shit, the stutter. And when you start out, you have to get a coach, right? Because when you don't know what you're doing, they basically need you. They require you to have a coach when you're starting out on snowboarding. And so I started on snowboarding this like a few days ago, and I have these coaches that like work every single day, every hour of the day. They wake up, they find a student, they teach them for 2, 3 hours, and then they go on to the next student, teach them for 2, 3 hours, next student, and then when they're teaching, they're kind of just they're all like dead. You know how it is. Like workers, like employees, they feel dead, but these coaches they teach hours on end, and they teach this every single day. It's so monotonous. They teach the same stuff. They hold your hands and then try and help you balance, and then they teach you how to progress. But it's never the same student. So like you're basically getting a new student, and every time it's meeting a new person, and they don't even make small talk with me. They just like feel dead. Like while we're on the cable cart on to get going towards the mountaintop, they they don't make any small talk. They're just like, yeah, what scrolling. They're just scrolling, and then once we're at the top, they start teaching, and then once we get the bottom, repeat, and then that's their lives, and then they have they're just happy with that. Are they just okay with living a life like that? Because if I had a life like that where I just coach people and then scroll on my phone while I'm not coaching, I I feel like I would just kill myself, right? It's just such a sad life, but that's the life of everybody. That's the life of everybody. And when I think of that, it's just like, am I supposed to accept that? Am I supposed to learn how to accept living a monotonous life without like having the feeling of fulfillment, unless the people who live the monotonous life have like know how to feel fulfilled in that monotonous life. And for me, right now I'm not satisfied with my life. I'm not even close to feeling satisfied with my life. Sometimes when I'm working out, I feel like, oh shit, this is good. This is a good feeling. Getting that pump or getting that sweat out, that's a good feeling. But after that, what's the point? I hate studying. I hate living. I'm scrolling to just so that I can pass time. So what's my ultimate goal? To scroll until I die? Like it's just completely depressing when you think about it. And we're almost hitting the 10-minute mark, but I suppose I can talk a bit more. Um, But there's one more thing that I want to talk about is like in terms of fulfillment, I see life as this way. In order to feel fulfilled in life, in order to live, you have to feel fulfilled in life. In order to feel fulfilled in life, you have to have a purpose. And that purpose comes from either family or sport or passion or whatever. But for me, it's either a responsibility, a duty, or a passion. Sorry, someone's there. But for me, because I don't have any responsibilities, I don't have a duty. My my ultimate thing that fulfills the purpose is passion, and I have this passion in filmmaking, blah blah blah. Um, and okay, I need to pause. So basically, I enjoy filmmaking, the process of editing, the process of compositing everything, just basically everything about it, right? I don't have a lot of experience in terms of filming things, uh, directing actors. I don't have a lot of experience in that. We've tried that before, and it was a funny little experience, but it was nothing serious. But mostly, in terms of filmmaking, I mostly focus on the editing aspect of it, the editing of videos and stuff. I won't get into it, but for me, just seeing things come together, seeing things build up, and just the whole process of it is really intriguing and very like satisfying. Very, it's I just when I'm in that moment of the process of it, I'm just so happy. And I guess that's what you call passion, and it's pretty strong of a passion when I'm feeling happy to this degree. But the thing is, I can't make that my job, right? It's hard to it's hard to turn something non-academic your career. And if I am going to do that, it's going to take a long time and a lot of effort and a lot of commitments and sacrifices. But eventually, if I'm given the opportunity to become successful in this industry that I'm passionate about, then holy shit, that's the dream life, right? So if I'm able to live that life, then I don't have to like learn how to accept like living a mundane, monotonous life and accepting how to feel, uh, how to be satisfied with that. I just have to work hard, and then everything will be good, right? But I don't know. The point I want to make was that, uh, even though I feel a lot of purpose, a lot of happiness within the process of making film and doing that stuff, the ultimate like fulfillment comes down to, and this is gonna sound a bit unhealthy, but it comes down to the external validation. For example, I mean, as a filmmaker, that's where the happiness come from, right? You have a you have a representable product in the form of a film, and then you put it on the big screen and have people watch it, and then when people react the way they're supposed to the parts that like for example, you put a joke in there and everybody laughs. That's the happiness. That's like, oh my, this is all it's for, right? But for me, I upload my stuff to YouTube and it barely gets any views. So for me, it just feels like, what is it worth it? Because like I'm putting in so much effort, so much meaning into this just to upload it and have no one watch it and have, so it's all pointless in the end, right? So for me, am I supposed to change that? Am I supposed to change the fact that I place my like I think that that in order to feel happy, I need to have people love my stuff. Otherwise, I don't feel happy about my passion. But again, there there's like filmmakers who openly express that, even film composers. I watched an interview of a film composer expressing that, okay, what's the part of the job that I love the most? It's when he makes music and contributes to the entire film, and have that film be played around the world, and when he's sitting in the cinema on the big screen, everybody laughs and cries and grows goosebumps over the film. and then to be able to witness that as a community, that is the purpose. That is the point of the film, right? To witness this piece of film, and we all have the same reactions. We all have the same emotions, and we have our own interpretations of this scene, and that's the beauty of filmmaking. And I suppose it's part of the uh, essence of filmmaking that you have to kind of rely on the emotions of others, the validation of others for you to feel satisfied, for you to feel good about your passion. And so I don't know, it's just a thought. I don't know if I'm supposed to change that or not, since other filmmakers, other producers, even film composers are like prone to. So I don't know. I have a stomach ache right now. I'm gonna go. But that was a good chat. It was a good practice session. But hopefully I can have my thoughts be articulated better, organized better next time on my next session of this commentary video.